Hey, what's up, everyone? There's so much happening right now. Now, it seems like there's not just protests over one thing, but there are protests right now taking place over everything. Climate activists now are deciding to just randomly protest in different places of this world. Right now, protests are breaking out across the streets from coast to coast in America, Canada, Europe, China, and even the Koreans are apparently also sending their support, which is really weird, but it's happening. Now the climate protesters say that we are like filth. The German villagers are protesting over the climate issues. Climate activists are storming the United Kingdom oil field to protest fossil fuels. 19 hours ago, New York Post says that the climate activists have stormed the United Kingdom, their oil fields, to protest what they call fossil fuels. And climate activists are protesting Germany's new Datteln for coal power plant. So apparently they're protesting the coal power plant in Germany. A bunch of climate activists and coronavirus protest teens activists are protesting injustice with distance on Capitol steps. Now, I have a question. Why is everyone hugging and thousands of people are just right next to each other in all of these riots? I don't call them protests, I call those riots. When years ago, some people at college and universities tried to protest the rising costs in college fees. What happened to them? They got pushed aside, they got tear gassed, and they got sent to jail. Jail. These people get off scot-free, most of them. And what you have is a lot of people who are joining fights to basically take advantage of what's happening and take advantage of the chaos so they can find a reason to riot. That's basically what you're having. It's not all over George Floyd. What George Floyd needed was a day of recognition, bringing attention to something, putting it online, getting lots of hashtags out there, and spreading the information online, and maybe giving a day of remembrance, a day of memorial for him. That's what they should have done. Because it was a horrible event, then all the officers involved, they should get in trouble, they should be sent to prison, and that's that. But all of these protests and riots you see across the entire planet, that's not solving a thing. But it does feed right into their whole agenda because, you know, when you have all of this chaos, control comes from those in a bad way. So, but look at what's going on. You have coronavirus protests, you have climate protesters suddenly deciding to just be active. Climate activists in the UK and over in Germany. You have all of these people taking to the streets suddenly over in the UK, England, for the climate. I mean, it just seems like something is up when you've got all these people suddenly protesting different things all at once. It's like taking advantage of something and just, I mean, it's going to another extreme. I mean, I've seen protests, but not like this since like the 1960s and things, and times like those. You have climate protests taking place right now, as you can see right here, worldwide. Climate protests and protests regarding George Floyd, but these are what we're seeing in other places are beyond climate or even human protests, human life protests. These are acts of violence. I mean, then you got people, basically a lot of the young people, they're just